All right, guys, one more TRT video. Like I said, somebody asked me the last time I did a TRT video about injections. What he basically said was he was using cream for, I want to say it was 6 weeks or 6 months, and he's going to switch over to injecting, okay? And he says he has no problem actually injecting, okay, per se, but, he just wanted to know if I've had any issues with it. Now, I'm assuming what he's talking about is like gaining an infection, from like injecting or like getting like, a big, welt or having some kind of an issue because like a dirty needle or something like that. That's what I'm assuming he's talking about. So let's talk about injecting TRT. I've had no issues whatsoever, okay, with... I've had no issues whatsoever with testosterone replacement. Okay, I've been injecting from the beginning. I never used a cream. Okay, I inject 1 cc once a week. Okay, so what it basically comes down to is, I'm always very careful that I bathe before I go ahead and do my injection. So I don't just come out of the gym in the morning and then do my injection right after. I always try to take a shower. I admit there are times when, like, my girlfriend has to leave or whatever, and I prefer to not inject myself, okay, if possible. So I'll go ahead and I'll just, like, wipe it down really well, okay, with, like, an alcohol swab or whatever. Because what you need to think about is if you have dirt on your body, you're plunging a needle, like, an inch inside of your body. Okay, through your skin, through your fat, into your muscle, okay? So you definitely need to make sure that there's nothing on the outside that you're going to be injecting into your muscle, okay? So you have to be very clean. Another thing that's very important is your, the vial, okay, that you keep your testosterone in, okay? Every single time when I go ahead and I draw the injection out, I wipe the top off with an alcohol swab. A lot of people get lazy with that. A lot of people, they don't wipe off the bottle, they don't wipe themselves off, they don't take a shower beforehand, and then they wonder why they get infections. I've never had an infection, okay? Where to inject, okay? Let me just say about where to inject. I like it in the ass, so to speak, okay? I just basically inject it sideways into my glutes, okay? Not too high, not too far forward because I don't want to hit like my hip joint or my hip bone, and I don't want to hit it from behind and hit like my sciatic nerve. I'm sure I would go through the ceiling if I did that. So I just go ahead and bring it basically down sideways, okay, into my ass. Now, a couple things to go ahead and look at with that, okay? First of all, the way I do it when I inject myself is if I'm doing it on the right side, even though I'm left-handed, I inject right, okay? Basically, I get up on my left leg and let my right leg hang down, okay? I try to lean forward on the sink in the bathroom, okay? So I got my right leg hanging down, okay? I do not like jab it in like a damn lawn dart, okay? Basically, I just touch it to my ass, and then I just press it slowly. I know a lot of people like to do it quickly. I just press it slowly. And basically what happens is when you go through the skin, you have like no feeling after that. So after you go through the skin, you just notice it just starts to glide in. Okay, I push it all the way in until the needle's gone. Okay, until it's just like the syringe pressing against my ass. And then I inject it. I've had cysts, like just like bumps, okay, and bulges in my shoulder, okay, from injections. And what I think is, it was like, I hate needles, and I think my girlfriend was trying to be nice to me, so she tried to inject it quickly. And by pushing it in really quickly, like not pressing the liquid into my shoulder quickly, it caused like more damage, more like micro damage, more scar tissue. So I always tell her now, just like, take it easy, just take your time and do it slowly, okay? So like I said, so take your time when you actually push the plunger in to inject it actually into your body, okay? And then after that, you pull it out, okay? You are supposed to aspirate. You're supposed to actually push it in and then draw back on the needle a little bit to see if there's blood. And if there is, you're supposed to put it in somewhere else because that means you hit a blood vessel. I'm going to be quite honest and admit I've never done that, okay? I'm also going to be quite honest and admit that my doctor never told me to do that, okay? In terms of injecting other places than the ass, okay, I've had good experiences with my shoulders, okay? Both other people injecting me in my shoulder and me injecting myself in my shoulder. I've never done my legs, my quads, or anything like that. My calves, I've heard horror stories about people having massive issues, whether it's just painful or they get an infection or some crazy shit goes wrong. I have never injected in my quads or my calves. We're talking about 1 cc, which is not a lot, once a week, which is not a lot. Okay, so I just go like right side, left side, left side, once a week, once a week, once a week, once a week, and I don't have an issue. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, shoulders are okay. Okay, what I will tell you is you got like your side delts, your front and your back delts. Don't go near the back. Okay, because once again, one of my girlfriend went one time and she was a little bit far back when she injected it. When she pulled it out, like just blood drained all the way down my arm. Okay, so it wasn't like she hit an artery, but there was a blood vessel there that was serious enough that when she pulled the needle out, it's just like blood went right down my arm. Okay, was it painful? I didn't die. Nothing happened. It was just like I said, when you do it sideways, just go into the medius part of your shoulder directly from the side. Okay, and go right in there. In terms of injecting into your own shoulder, okay, what I have done best is I put my elbow on something at shoulder height. Okay, like sometimes, like I visited, somebody a while ago, and it was my mom actually. So I'm in her guest bedroom, and she had like a bureau drawer, and then like a little cabinet on top of the bureau drawers was perfect. So I just put my my elbow right up on top of that. My girlfriend has it's like a bird cage kind of shelf, weird, crazy, pretty thing that she keeps her makeup in. I turn it sideways on top of the bathroom sink, and I put my elbow on there, and once again it's at shoulder height. The reason I do this is because if you try to inject your shoulder, like just standing here, I'm flexing my shoulder. Okay, God forbid you try to actually go ahead and hold your arm out to the side. You're going to flex your shoulder. It's going to hurt. It's going to cause more scar tissue. It's going to cause more damage. So what I've noticed is by putting my arm on something and pushing down, like activating my lats to push down, my lat muscles on the bottom are going to activate, and that will relax automatically my delt. Okay, make it nice and soft. Okay, so once again, I just put my arm down there, push down. Okay, it relaxes my delt, and then I just put the needle on there, push it in slowly, inject it slowly, and that's it. Like I said, I hate needles, and I get away fine with this. Okay. A little trick that I've noticed when I get like my HCGs, my insulin syringes for the HCG, from the clinic, I need like a couple, and they send me a bag of like 10. So I always have a lot of extra ones, and those are very small needles. Okay, so if I have to inject myself, I don't have anybody to inject me. And I just don't feel like it. Like I'm just tired, or I'm just like not, you're just not in the mood. I hate needles as it is. And if I'm like just exhausted or stressed out or whatever, the last thing I want to do is just poke myself with a needle, I mean, what it's like when you're tired or when you're, whatever, for whatever reason, you're not 100%, like your pain tolerance and your tolerance to put up with bullshit and everything is just isn't the same. So what I do then is I will actually draw out, okay, the cc of testosterone into the insulin needle. Okay, the insulin needle tends to be very small. It's like 29 gauge, okay, which is smaller than the 25 gauge needle that you usually use, okay, for your testosterone. This is just the small insulin needle that the doctor at the pharmacy sends you for your HCG. It takes a long time, but if you put it into the vial and slowly draw it out, you will actually be able to get a cc of that into the syringe. Okay. Problem with that is that it is usually like a 1/2 of an inch or a 5/8 of an inch needle. It's not an inch long needle. Okay, like you're supposed to inject your testosterone with. So I don't suggest you put that in your ass because you have a lot of fat there. It has to go through your skin, your fat, and deep into your muscle. Okay, that's where it belongs. So if you're fairly lean, if you're not fat, and you have something resembling a deltoid muscle, you can actually use, and this is not legal or medical advice, but this is just my experience, has been, the 1/2 inch long insulin syringe is enough to inject into my shoulder. Okay, so that's, like I said, that's the way I do it sometimes. And like I said, because there's not a whole lot of fat there, okay, and because the pin is so small, like the needle itself is so small, it just goes in very easily, okay, very quickly, okay, and like I said, that's something that I can do if I have to, if I really don't feel like injecting myself, but I have to inject myself, okay. So anyway, those are, like I said, just some of my experiences with injecting testosterone. I will tell you that I have never heard anything good about people who use the creams. Okay, it can get on other people. If you have a wife or kids, you can get your testosterone cream on these other people, which is not the way it's supposed to be. I can't believe that it really, just soaks into your skin as well, that it's dosed properly, just like an injection. So I really don't recommend that. I recommend that you go to a doctor who's going to prescribe you an injectable testosterone, okay? So like I said, this guy who asked this question, I'm sure he's going to get much better results, feel a lot better when he starts injecting his testosterone as opposed to that testosterone cream that he's been using. Okay. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to make this into like a TRT channel. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. But other than that, though, like I said, ask whatever questions you've got. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you haven't clicked on that little bell thing next to the subscription button, please click on the little bell thing so you actually get notified every time I put out another video. And comment below any questions, any suggestions for future videos. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.